So what does a rare blade need to do to make it into the top 5? Maybe they are OP in combat, maybe their heart-to-hearts are great, or maybe it's something else. Let's find out. Now just quickly before we get into the countdown, this video is sponsored by Amino. Amino is the absolute best place to connect with people who love the same things that you do, or in the case of me, JRPGs, Etrian Odyssey, and more JRPGs. There is a community within Amino for everything you can imagine, but what we are really interested in right now is Xenoblade, and thankfully for us, the Xenoblade Amino community is one of the best. It's super active, there is always something to do, and there are always awesome Xenoblade fans to hang out with. Everything I've seen so far, from the art to the discussions to the hilarious polls, comes from people just as excited about Xenoblade as I am. Fan theories are another thing you'll see a lot of, but my absolute favourite over the last couple of weeks has got to be this one. Alvis is gay and I have proof. Some people are just entering Xenoblade for the very first time, and it can be awesome chatting with people new to the series, either to help out or just to get their impressions. As a longtime JRPG fan, I can sometimes forget just how obscure or tricky a particular mechanic can be because I am totally used to weird and wacky mechanics. So jumping into this chat room to give some advice is always a bit of fun. So go and download it on your phone and join the Xenoblade community, and also go straight to this post and vote yes because this poll is way too close for my liking. And now, on with the top 5 best rare blades list. Obviously, if you don't want rare blades spoiled, you should turn back now, and you may see some location spoilers or other spoilers if you are super early in the game, but as long as you have made it to at least chapter 8 or don't care about minor spoilers, you're safe. Putting Zenobia on this list is conflicting, because on one hand, her design is just crazy. I mean, is that hair? Is it attached to her boobs? Does Zenobia have really hairy boobs? But I digress. She has awesome heart-to-hearts and a personality that I can get behind, but on the other hand, she has one of the most frustrating affinity charts in the game, requiring you to kill a huge portion of the tough unique monsters all over Alrest. And worse yet is that Zenobia has to be in the party when the unique monster is killed. It doesn't work like some other affinity conditions that have some prior actions counting towards them, so you'll most likely have to tirelessly retread areas in search of gravestones to fight the unique monsters required again. But since Zenobia is one hell of a strong attacking blade, she should help out quite nicely. For a long time, Perun was my favourite blade. I absolutely loved the Great Lance weapon because it doesn't feel sluggish in combat like a lot of the other attack blade weapons. Plus, her design is awesome. It comes to you from the skilled hands that also did a lot of art for Code Geass, which is one of my favourite anime series. Perun too suffers from an annoying affinity chart, less than Zenobia's but still annoying, mostly due to vagueness. What you need to do to unlock level 2 on her affinity chart is simply not explained anywhere, and in fact, a guide on what you need to do is one of my most watched videos. But once you get over that hump, you have a really cool blade that can be strong in the right build. Florin. Where do I begin? Why is he on the list? He isn't particularly strong in combat, though he is a decent healer, and wait a minute, he? Yeah, that's right. Florin has been dubbed by the internet as the Trap Blade. He is a trap, and my god does that give the blade personality. A lot of the side content and dialogue goes completely unappreciated until you realize Florin is a male. And speaking of that side content, having Florin active in towns opens up interesting dialogue options with tons of townspeople. And better yet, you are also rewarded with gold or items for doing this, and it's all thanks to Florin's exclusive ability, Beguiling Charm. Asami makes it on the list predominantly because she is OP. I'm currently working on a build guide for Asami, so you should stay tuned for that, but her affinity chart and super strong weapon combine with a few accessories to destroy everything in your path, under the right conditions. That isn't all though, because her design is one of the most unique in the game. I really dig the creepy vibe, and her side quests are simply awesome. If you love homicidal maniacs, you're going to love Asami. And finally, theory. My precious Theory. I love this goddamn blade, and Praxis too, which is kind of like her sister blade, and you may be wondering why Theory is here over Praxis when Praxis uses my preferred weapon, the Great Lance. And in all honesty, I'm struggling to come up with an answer for that one. Theory is a tank blade who uses a sword. I don't mind the sword, but obviously being a tank blade, she isn't so useful for DPS. And since I mostly set up an AI party member to be my designated tank, I'd barely get to use her. But most recently, I've been messing around with having both Praxis and Theory on Rex, and you know what? Not so bad. On top of that, I just love Theory's design. Perhaps Theory coming later in the game compared to Praxis is what tipped her onto this list. You'll be pretty much forced into the side quest fairly early on that gets you Praxis, but it isn't until much later in the game that you are able to get Theory, and that whole questline is one of my favourite pieces of side content in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So there we have it, Theory is my BaeBlade. This list was a little bit of fun. Obviously there are going to be stronger blades out there for certain scenarios, and that is one of the best things about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I think every rare blade has a chance to shine. These blades aren't all on my top 5 because they are the strongest or the most useful or have the best designs. Ultimately, they are here because I like them. And speaking of like, if you'd tap that little like button below the video, that would be awesome. But don't forget to head on down to the comment section and let me know who your favourite rare blades are. I want to know who your BaeBlade is. Check out the links in the description for the latest JRPG deals and pre-orders, follow me on social media, and other than that, I'll see you all soon.